Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Roadish Podcast. Happy New Year! And we're a little bit late, but
A little bit.
a little bit, a little bit. Okay, we'll get into that in a minute. But as always, my name is Rune, and with me I have Armand.
Hi, people. How are you guys doing?
Awesome. So it's a new year. It's a new year. We're a little bit late. Do we wanna go into that first, or do we wanna do a little bit of a catch up?
No. We'll have to address the problems first.
Well, it's not
So not
that.
necessarily
That's a
problems.
that's a really
The
bad way of
issue.
starting.
So Rune was sick. Then I was sick. Then Rune was sick again. Then I was
Yeah,
sick.
yeah.
And then we just were busy. And then you
Yeah,
know.
it was finding time between being ill was definitely uh maybe you could use the word problem there, maybe an issue at that point, but it was like really straining for time more than anything of like trying to figure out a particular time that we both weren't like coughing our guts up or having massive headaches. I felt like I had COVID again. I know I didn't because I did the tests and whatnot. Uh how was your illness the first time round?
The first time I was in bed 24/7. And then this was before Christmas. So this was like actually this was like during Christmas.
Right, you
And
got it at the
then
same time that most other people did then.
yeah, and then I was in bed and I was like, oh yeah, I felt a little better like the second day. I was like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go to the gym.
Mhm.
I went to the gym and after like two exercises, I was like, fuck this, man. I can't move anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just went home after that and then I stayed in bed till
Yep.
like after Boxing Day, I want to say.
Okay, not at a massive amount of time then, but like a significant amount. But
Yeah, a significant amount.
yeah, yeah, I think I pretty much did the same because I had the full body ache. I got away with not having a headache both times, but it was like congestion and sinuses and a cough from like a really chesty cough, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? I actually feel like I'm dying all over again. Like it was very similar to the first time I had COVID. I was like,
Mm.
this feels like full body pain. What the hell is going on? But that's why we're late. So we're currently recording this on the 17th. We said that we were going to be back on, I believe, the 6th. So 11 days late. But hopefully, going forward, everything will be fine. No more illnesses, no more weird interruptions or anything like that. I hope.
Oh no, definitely.
Aside from being ill and the new year and all that, what have you been up to? What's new? What's been going on?
A lot of things, you know. Constantly on the move, constantly on the hustle, constantly trying to improve everything I do. But like, apart from going back to school and being very, very annoyed at everything in school, there's not been like new stuff necessarily. I've just like upgraded life, if you wish. You know, like I'm starting to learn for my driving license, and like I'm looking for
Hmm.
cars, and you know all that bollocks. And
Yeah,
I was
this
like,
this fucker thinks that he's getting a Beamer for his first car,
I'm
and
getting a Beamer. I am
no.
getting it. I'm getting a
Okay,
one series. I don't give a shit what anyone says. I'm getting buying a
yeah, you
Beamer.
can say that, but I have a feeling you're gonna have a nightmare of a time in insurance. And I reckon that anyone that listens this far into the podcast, even though it's only been like 3 minutes or something, this fucker ain't getting proper insurance. The price you're gonna get back as a quote for insurance, you're gonna shit yourself. Okay, for a Series One Beamer for a first time driver, even being under someone else's like as a co, I can't remember what it is.
Oh, driver.
Underwritten or whatever the fuck the thing is where you're like a named driver, that's the one, that a named driver on the policy. It's gonna it's gonna fuck you. I'm gonna laugh so hard when you one day
Um,
I'm just gonna come online, you'll be like, "It was like 3 grand," and I'll be like, "Yeah, that sounds about right." But
I'm
yeah,
getting a
that's
Beamer. Fuck you.
yeah. Well, you're gonna end up crashing it if you do, and I don't
Why?
think that you're gonna justify the money. I don't think it's gonna justify the money of how much you have to spend on insurance to then just fuck your first car.
Why do you think I'm gonna crush it? What like?
Everyone does. It's just like a way of life and a learning experience. Everyone crashes their first car. It
That's not
just
true.
it is whether like it happens in a car park that someone else like scrapes past your bumper, or whether you scrape a bumper while parking, or you don't brake heavy enough because you're not used to how it works compared to like the test vehicle that you're in. Just it will be something small. More often than not, it's something kind of minor, and it's like, oh yeah, cool. I got to get a new body panel of this thing. It's just the way that things go. You just do. You just I can't like give a justification for it to be like, oh yeah, the stats behind it, blah blah blah.
So
Just
it's not always your fault then.
no, not necessarily always, but I would say like I would lean into like 80% of the time, first time drivers in their first car will crash it some way or another. It'll be like it could even be as simple as like you've massively curbed it to the point that you get a flat tire. Like it'll be
Mm,
something that doesn't happen all that often after your first car.
okay,
It
fair
won't pop
enough.
up. But it'll
Well,
be something.
in about May, right?
Okay.
Hopefully March. I hope for March, but realistically, how things go, May, right? I'm gonna have a Beamer, and I'm gonna laugh at Rune while paying, hopefully under £200 on insurance.
No. No, £200 a month. No, it's not gonna happen. I don't
Yeah, no, no,
I
no.
can't see it happening. The thing is though, are you hoping to be like have a driver's license by like May?
Yes,
And that's
because
not gonna yeah, that's not gonna happen.
no, 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 no,
We'll refer
like
back to this.
no, no, not necessarily like having driver license, but like have like all the tests under whatever not. So
Well,
like I can like
you have to have a theory, and then that
yeah,
lasts 2 years. So within that 2 years, you then have to pass your practical.
yeah,
I don't,
that can happen by May.
I don't think it will happen by May. Bearing in mind that you have to do, typically speaking, the average pass rate is 45 hours of driving.
Mm,
You'll roughly do 2 hours once a weekday. Is
mm.
the booking rate that you'll get in, and it's kind of costly. So it's not necessarily a cost thing. It's just the amount of time that you're physically able to put in, unless you go for a quick course and you do it all in a week, and that way is slightly more possible. But I don't think you're doing that.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Hmm. We will see. We'll refer back to this specific podcast, and we'll find out.
Yes, of course. Right. Anyway, Rune, what is up with your life?
I'm going to take a you approach because other than being ill, not an awful lot has been happening. I've been doing stuff on my end that's good for me, but not an awful lot. Nothing like massively special. We got Christmas out the way and it was nice. I did a lot of driving around and here, there, and everywhere. I smashed my phone at one point, but that was easily replaced. I got that sorted. That was no big deal.
Idiot.
Yeah, it happens. It was bound to happen. I mean, to be fair, my phone is like 4 years old. Like it's done all right. I don't know
Wow.
actually. I
Four
think
years.
it's the 11 Pro. I don't know. It's not broke. It's fine. It's quick. It does all the things that I want it to do. I don't really do an awful lot on my phone.
You know
Uh,
what? That's fair. That's absolutely fair. Like, because when I had my old phone, I had a Google Pixel, and it did what it needed to do, and it did it well, and that's why I liked it.
yeah.
And then I couldn't find any of the phone that had like it was quite small, so I was like, all right, I'm switching to Apple. You know, I really hated Apple, but
hmm
now I like my phone, right? Because it does what it needs to do, it does it well, and it's not extra for no reason.
Yeah. I don't like. I'm not fussed on having like a special camera or this that, and the other. I don't take an awful lot of pictures. More often than not, it's screenshots.
Mm.
So it's like that doesn't really affect me too much. I know a lot of people say about with Huawei and having a good camera or like a Samsung something or other and this. That, I don't care about any of that. It doesn't fuss me. It does the things that it needs to, and the user interface is nice. It's bright and colorful, and every app that I try to use, especially when it comes to PC stuff as well, anything that's got like a bright and friendly, approachable user interface, that's usually what I'll go for. Other than that, I'm not
Yeah.
really too fussed. But other than that, I put a deposit down for a custom guitar, so I'm looking forward to that turning up in about 2 months. Um, it's going to take a while to get here, but there we are. I'll just have to keep an eye on that one. It's being built at the moment, which I'm kind of looking forward to. Other than that, it's been like I don't know. I bought a new keyboard for gaming stuff. For anyone who's interested, I think it's the K65, the mini keyboard, just because I didn't want something that had like 2 billion buttons on it anymore.
Is that the
Um,
Razer? Yeah. Of
no, Corsair.
course, yeah.
Corsair. I think it's a K65. It's like the 60% or 65% or whatever one you want to call it. And it does fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Other than that, not an awful lot has really happened. Just got back to work after Christmas, and New Year was reasonably quiet. Spent it in a pub. Um, actually, I think I Snapchatted you. Actually,
Most British thing ever.
yeah, of course. Well, I'm not one to. I'm very comfortable in four walls. I will sit inside for like weeks on end if I had the choice to be able to do so. I'm just very comfortable in my own company, and I know that's massively unhealthy. But we got invited out by my other half's work colleagues, and they were like, "Yeah, come along to this thing." And there's, just a few of us, not anything too manic or anything like this. And we just had a fairly quiet two pub run kind of New Year's, and that was it. And watched some fireworks go off over a river, and then that was about it, really. I was the sober one because I was driving. That was
Obviously.
it. Yeah, I'm not a massive drinker, so. But no, that's about it really. Nothing major. The only thing that I think will hopefully be changing in the next few weeks or so is possibly the format of the podcast. We've got obviously some improvements that we want to make over the year. You still want to go for 1,000 subscribers for this year, so
1,000 subscribers.
constant posting is the way that we're going to do it. So we're going to have to figure that
Improve
one
on
out.
that.
Yeah, I think I'm still thinking of getting a laptop so that I can remotely do extra content and things like that. So maybe you'll see
Yeah.
an uptick in content that we make because I'll just throw some other smaller videos together or something like that.
Because the thing is, right, and I'm not pinning this on Rune. I could probably do this. But for me, right, so the way we do this is very weird. Once we record the podcast, only Rune gets it. So I don't get it, right?
Yeah, I record everything
And
on my end.
right. So then I can't go and then get the audio and edit bits out and post them myself. Because I would do that. But I don't get the audio.
You can do that
How?
once
How?
it's uploaded.
And go and get it off YouTube and download it off YouTube and
Yeah.
then all the. That's just effort, mate.
Oh, sorry, high value man who wants to rock his hustle and this, that, and the other. Put in some fucking legwork then.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, so one thing that we do want to do because I want to try and keep this moving on. Shut the fuck up. I want to try and keep this moving on as quickly as possible, mainly because going forward, I want to have preferably 2 to 3 topics per podcast. Obviously, if something happens not to say between us, that sounds confrontational, but if there's something that we want to talk over that isn't necessarily in the news cycle, obviously we can bring that up and be like, I know that we've mentioned about doing a Jordan Peterson episode, which we'll still do at some point. I want to incorporate the bop or flops at some point, which I know that I said, hold me to it, but fuck it, that didn't happen. That will still happen. Just again, it's been a time thing where we've both been ill and not really had massive amounts of time online. And the setup that I got to have for that is a pain in the ass. So, in light of having 2 or 3 topics, the first one we're going to go over is an update, or I say an update, the news surrounding Andrew Tate and our thoughts on it. And then the other two are kind of open for discussion, I guess. There's some smaller things going on. More recently, the Rick and Morty co-writer, co-director, something like that, has had some allegations, let's say. Oh no, actually charged now.
Oh, was he actually charged?
Yeah, because we'll get into it in a minute, but Chris Pratt is going to be the new voice of Rick. Not that I watch Rick and Morty, it doesn't affect me whatsoever, but it's just
Oh
an
hell no! I ain't listening to
yeah.
Chris Pratt for a whole ass season.
I don't know. You obviously sound like you listen to it or watch it, so we'll have to see how that comes out. After the weird backlash for the Mario movie, I don't even know if that came out yet. I don't even. So we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, first things first. Andrew Tate was arrested in Romania because the Matrix or something. No, it's not. It's not because of some fucking Matrix thing. Do you what were your go through your initial views and what you know about it so far?
Here's what I know. Here's what I think, and here's what the internet's saying.
Okay.
They're saying, oh, they got caught because of Greta Thunberg and the pizza box.
Nah,
No,
that's a load of
no,
bollocks. Don't worry about that.
that's a lot of bollocks. No, that didn't happen. No, what I believe happened, right, is
Mhm.
no. This is not necessarily what I believe. This is what I've heard and formulated an opinion upon. It's probably bollocks as well, but is he spread? He was trying to enforce points that more important people didn't like, so they decided,
That is
oh,
such a fucking conspiracy theory with
you
absolutely no
sure?
base. Yeah, of
You
course it
sh-
is. Of course it is. The most if I were to go down the most credible route of the lower tier of anything, it'd be tax fraud or theft.
Mm.
Like
No, because
having saying
here's the thing.
something online is it's so conspiratorial, it's unreal. There's no basis for it at all.
Right, but here's the thing. Their lawyer, right, came out and said that there is no fucking case file. There's no case file. They didn't get given anything because there's no case file for him. So he's been in prison. There's no case file. There's no fucking mandate. There's nothing. They just took him.
Yeah, but he said that to the public and on social media.
That's not.
It's irrelevant what he says in those like the lawyer says in those particular circumstances. When he's in a courtroom and could perjure himself, I bet he'll say something completely different because this is what happened with Trump and Giuliani. He said something completely different to the media and then shut it all down and walked back so much shit when he was in front of a judge.
Mm,
So
obviously.
it's this is one of those things. It's like I don't like commenting on it an awful lot, and I
Hmm.
get why you want to say things like, "Oh, he's saying things that other people don't like." It's like Romania is trying to be taken seriously on the world stage, and within Andrew Tate's own video, admitted to tax fraud and the Loverboy method of like whether the sex trafficking will stick. It's definitely human trafficking to some degree, to the point that he's been charged. It's not just like a weird, like, oh, there's allegations of this thing. He's actually been charged with it. Um, I think the
Yeah, but
more
they
gone.
were doing some like investigating around the houses where supposedly he was doing all like the human trafficking and the sex
Mhm.
trafficking and all that. And they went to all of the houses there, and sure, you could pay people off, but they're asking, what have you seen over the years and all that? And they're like, all the women were like willingly coming in and out as they wished. There was no force involved. They were all having fun. There was a lot of laughter at all times. There's like there was nothing to show that they were being held against their will to the point where you say, oh, yeah, it's sex trafficking or it's human trafficking or whatever. So all of the people have said the same thing. Maybe they've been paid off. I'm not saying they haven't. You can
Mhm.
definitely do that. But denying like what I think is like 20 houses on that street, denying 20 whole families is it's a hard thing to do. Just saying, oh yeah, he paid 20
Quite
families
possibly,
off.
but the way that I would view that is that if you were to think of like bigger picture things, yeah, 20 houses in the neighborhood or whatnot are only going to see a very, very small portion of it. Like, we talk quite a lot, and I would trust you, like you personally, to a degree, but I have no fucking clue what you do in your personal time. Like, in the same way that we might talk every day and we snap back and forth and this that, and the other, but between all of that, you have no fucking clue what I do either. So
Yeah, I
it's
mean, for all I know, you could be a drug dealer.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I could be doing something horrendous, and you could be doing something horrendous just because you know someone or you've seen certain instances. It's why, like, it's quite surprising to a lot of friends of couples that like one of them will come out of as like a domestic abuser or anything like that, because like that is so well hidden or can be so well hidden. But when it comes to the public perception, it'll be like, oh yeah, they seemed, like a happy couple, this, that, and the other. And maybe they'll have an argument from time to time. That's pretty normal within a relationship. But like, you have no fucking clue what happens behind a closed door. I think one of the arguments that I saw that there's roughly 75 women involved. Um, even if like 70 of them, even 70, let's go with 74 of them were perfectly willing, everything was fine. If he did it to one, that doesn't excuse, like, "Oh, yeah, look at all these, like, nice interactions that I've had, but I did this one bad thing."
Oh yeah, yeah, no, no, no,
If
hundred
I'm
percent.
friends with 99 people and murdered the 100th, like, that doesn't make it okay. Like,
No, no,
I'm
I,
still gonna
I
be
agree. I
arrested for
agree
the
with
murder.
you. Yeah, yeah, no,
Um
yeah, that's stupid. Yeah, it
But
makes sense what
just
you're
to
saying.
give it like a backstory thing, the Greta Thunberg thing is like a load of bollocks. It's a thing that you see on Twitter that people are having like a weird conspiracy thing on. It's like, yeah, this is a load of shit. Um, Maybe
That
timelines just added up or whatnot. Like,
yeah,
there's no basis for that.
that no, because the leader of the cut, the woman in charge or whatever, she
Hmm.
came and said no, the pizza box had nothing to do
Yeah, no, of
with.
course it didn't. But the thing on here that we've got, so the article that I've have here is from January 16th, so that was yesterday for us. But as a little backstory, what they've done is they've got the charge papers for Andrew Tate. He was arrested on suspicion of rape and creating a human trafficking operation with his brother Tristan and two Romanian women. So that plays into the idea of the lover boy method that people go on about, which is essentially like a recruitment thing, of like taking a woman out of the country, or like, so approaching a woman and encouraging them to be your other half, making them fall in love with you, or like having strong feelings for you, being like, this is the business I want to run, blah blah blah. Um, and then to a degree being coerced into moving to a different country where they don't speak the language, and then like being introduced into sex work where they haven't done it previously. I think that's the other point that they've brought up quite a bit, is that the women that he was approaching with a partner, like the one of these women, is encouraging them to do so when they haven't done any of this kind of stuff before.
Okay,
So
yeah.
they may not have a full understanding of how the whole thing works. Um, Yeah, he said that women are partially responsible for rape, and it's got all of his like stupid, like the weird stuff that they're trying to tie to it of um what's considered the misogynistic comments online, this, that, and the other. And they're just trying to tie it into the whole thing together. It's like, okay, well, that's just as conspiratorial as anything else. And then more recently, a load of his assets were seized.
Yeah, because
Uh,
that that
$5.3 million in supercars and luxury goods is what I've got as an estimate here.
yeah, because that's what they do in Romania. They just take your shit.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what they do in most other parts of the world. If they were to charge someone, they wouldn't necessarily need a warrant to like search premises or personal items or things like that for things like evidence. But so we'll keep an eye on that and see what happens. I think there was not long ago he was kept for an extra 30 days because of something else. Um, yeah,
Oh
they
no,
challenged
so
the 30-day
the
arrest warrant, but the
yeah, they
Bucharest court rejected the challenge last week, and they should remain in police custody.
mm.
Um, oh, so they're actually securing the assets as a possible collateral against the potential compensation claims for victims. So if the victims end up suing, then it would be like paying that kind of thing off.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine you sue a company and then you get a Bugatti as a collateral.
Well, it won't be the Bugatti. It'll be a valuation,
Yeah,
like an insurance company will pay out, and then out of that money, that the people will be paid in whatever
yeah.
currency it is that they see fit from
Yeah,
whatever country.
he saved his most prized possession. He the Bugatti he got sent off when like winter hit. He sent it off to I think it was Dubai to one of his like acquaintances or friends or whatever because he so he's not in the country anymore, so they can't actually take it
Yeah, but
because
I find that kind of weird that he's sent it into Dubai, because I'm pretty sure Dubai have like they have that supercar issue where it's an absolute fucking nightmare to get it back out of the country. So I think it's like, yeah, surely it has to be considered a gift by this point.
oh yeah, at this point it is no because it's very easy to get it out of the country. I think if you have your own ways of flying, it's like if you have a plane in which you can put it on to get it out of the country. But if you want the country to get it out for you, then it's more difficult.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
because
that makes more sense actually. Yeah, good, fair point.
because yeah, because Tate has like knows people, it doesn't affect him because he like just calls
Well, I don't
someone
think
as
it's a
like
case of knowing people. I think it's a case of like doing it through the proper channels rather than being like, I can smuggle this car onto a thing. It's like if by that point you're like um defrauding customs or whatever it ends up being. You're circumventing the import of goods, whatever that ends up being as a crime. It's like, well, he would still go through the proper channels. He might just have to pay out the nose for it because he's transporting a car from one country to another via a plane or a boat or whichever. Um,
yeah.
but we'll keep an eye on it. We'll see what actually comes of it. Maybe nothing will come of it. Maybe something will come of it. But I'll keep an eye out and see what happens there. The other thing that we obviously just mentioned about the Rick and Morty co-creator, his name is Roiland. Justin Roiland. He faces felony domestic violence charges. I saw on Twitter earlier that Chris Pratt, I think, is in the running to become the voice of Rick because of it. Um, I'm not really too sure on how they're going to do it playing forward. You watch Rick and Morty, don't you?
Yes, I watch Rick and Morty.
What season are they on?
6? I
All
think I
right,
just
okay.
finished 6. So
So
Rick and Morty co-creator Justin Roiland awaits trial for domestic violence against ex-girlfriend.
yeah, so it's on trial. It's not necessarily just like an allegation type thing. So
Yeah.
it'll be
He,
interesting.
he looks like the type of guy who would
You
who
could
would do
you
domestic
could
violence.
you could never say that about anyone. Like, because they look a certain way means that they're gonna be like,
Look at his face though. He just
he's got
looks like he's
he's got a human face. Well done. Like, you can't.
he
He
looks
looks a
like he
certain
beats
way,
his
so he must.
woman.
No, he doesn't. He just looks like a human being who has the bad morals in the background. It's like you have to. So yeah, it's one felony count of domestic battery with corporal injury and one felony count of false imprisonment by menace, violence, fraud, or deceit. That'd be interesting to see how that comes out, but I don't think it will
Oh
really change too much to come with the show. If anything, it might boost their ratings because everyone will want to see how they play it going forward.
yeah, it does me a bit because the thing is, this guy plays he plays Rick and Morty.
Oh, does he do the voices for both as well?
Yeah, he does the voices for both. So it's gonna be not necessarily hard for him to replicate, not necessarily hard for like someone else to replicate them, but I don't believe he's going to be up to the standard because
Hmm.
obviously you have the same energy behind the voice and everything else. So going to be
Probably not, but we'll
yeah.
just have to we'll have to see how they do it, like going forward and whatnot, and then what they do with the voices. Um,
Yeah. Oh, he's
oh,
42.
yeah, he's 42. I've also just seen as well. I didn't know that. I thought they had something to do with it, but I haven't played the game. But they're also they released the game High on Life, which I've seen a lot of like TikTok clips for, which
Yeah,
looks like a
it's
meme game, but it's not something that I had any
it
interest
is
in.
very much a meme game.
Yeah,
It's fun, but I'd rather play Tarkov.
of course, of course. Um, so I don't know what happens in your circles. So I'm not to say I'm
Here, right, let me give you a quick
involved
rundown
in
of
this
my.
kind of thing.
Let me give you a quick rundown of my circle. Right, so we have
Hmm.
half the circle, very self improvement, gym, learning, all like the concentrated people.
Hmm.
Right, we have like three of them who are just there. They're just about, they exist within the group. We like them. They're very chill people. They don't engage in activities with the group, but they're there. And then we have a knobhead, right? Who I won't say the name of, who has let his life go a little down the drain because of a woman. But apart from that, that's basically the group.
Right. Okay.
So yeah,
So
so he's been
that's your social circle to be able to find like news and whatnot.
yes, that is my social circle. So I have half the circle, which is all I hear is like self improvement, Hamza, Andrew Tate, all that bollocks.
Yeah.
Half of them are just there. Like right, everyone in my circle talks about anime, which I don't know, I don't know,
Okay.
right,
Of course they do.
I don't know how I found the circle. Right, I can't explain myself how I ended up here. I don't
Hmm.
watch anime. I've never watched anime, and I will never watch anime. I then to not offend anyone. I believe it's absolutely horrible. Why would I watch that? It's not necessarily degrading. It's not degrading. It's a show, but I can't find interest in that. It's just
What
the
in any anime?
style. No, like the style is bad. Like when I was a kid, I watched two animes because it was on TV, and you had to watch it because what the fuck else do you watch? And
What did it depends on what you watch though, because if you're like
I watched Bakugan and Blade
right,
Blade because that was on TV in Romania, right? So that's what I watched.
yeah, but what Beyblade?
So I don't know, brother. The one that was there in like 2012, 2013.
Oh, yeah, still quite new then. See, because I remember like waking up in the morning and like watching the original Beyblade with like I can't remember. Is it Ty and fuck? What's his name? The like I want to say it was like the original one. And like Pokemon and card captors, and then moving into like Dragon Ball Z and Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh no, I have. Well, one of the characters is called Max Tate from
Of
Blade
course,
Blade.
of
Yeah, no, no,
course.
no.
Fuck's sakes. Can never you just can't escape it.
Yeah, no, no, no. I watched the first one because we didn't pay for not that's how we didn't pay for TV. We paid for our TV, but
Mhm.
like the channels that we watched it on didn't pay for the new ones, so we were watching the old ones
Oh,
that
right.
everyone else watched years ago.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Well, it depends. I think it very much depends on what kind of anime that you watch, like, because I
Like
really enjoy things like One Punch Man. One Punch Man is
I,
fucking
I right.
amazing.
I started watching One Punch Man, and I started watching One Punch Man
Mhm.
well after my Discord fucking profile picture was made.
Yeah, which is
And
the
because
One Punch Man fist.
log, yeah, because all my friends were like, "Oh, watch One Punch Man, watch One Punch Man." I was like, "I don't know, man. It's an anime. I don't
Mhm.
fuck with that." And they're like, "Please, please, please, it's very good, it's very good." And I watched like the
Mhm.
first season, and
Yeah.
I didn't get to finish the first season because they took it off Netflix.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I've been trying to find season 2 for ages because I fucking hate watching anything with subtitles, and that might make me like some sort of weird subcategory of non-anime enjoyers and whatnot. But I end up like reading the whole thing.
do you watch it dubbed?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
because
okay.
I
I don't
prefer
judge
the
you.
voices for some reason. I prefer the voice. I feel like the voices suit more. Maybe it's like a Western thing of like the way that the Western civilization like dubs these voices and whatnot.
Mm,
I just feel that they suit the characters more. Um,
yeah.
but I
When
like
I
that it's like I suppose like a cult. Maybe it's like a cultural thing that I'm like I still
Maybe.
understand where they're coming from. But yeah, go on.
The amount of shit my friends give me if when I because I watched like the first 6 episodes of One Punch Man dubbed, and the
Hmm.
amount of shit they gave me because I
Nah.
watched it dubbed and not subbed, and I was like, listen here, I watch it however I want.
Yeah, of course. No, I can't watch anything subbed because I just spend the whole time reading and not focusing on what's going on. This is probably why I prefer like movies over books. Like I'm not a big reader, mainly
Mm,
because I want to see the creator's like vision like played for
yeah,
me. I don't want to have
yeah,
to impose my own um I don't want to impose my own like imagination onto what they're viewing as they write something. I want to see like this is why I like things like Marvel and like Avengers and things like that is because I like the visual aspect of like seeing their creation come to life and being able to visually like I don't need a description of a character because I can just see them be like that's their description. I don't want to read through a thing and be like, "Oh, well, my interpretation of the description of this character is massively different from the authors, but it's also different from probably everyone else who
yeah,
is
yeah.
reading the book." Yeah,
That
I can't do
that's
so.
that reason there that you just described is also why She-Hulk did so poorly because she did because right, so in that show the main
Mhm.
point they're trying to portray is like woman's problems in a modern world and whatever, and
Yeah.
but the thing was they told us that she has like they made like the characters say like, oh, I have problems with that and that and that, instead of showing us, and everyone was pissed off. They're like, bro, you don't tell us the
Yeah, show
story,
us, like,
you
it's the
show
thing.
us the story,
Yeah.
and people thought it was very
I
shit.
don't think it was yeah, for a TV show, like a Marvel TV show, like, I know that Loki did really well, the like, Moon Knight was fucking amazing, I really like Moon Knight, but all of that was, like you weren't told at any particular point, "Oh, yeah, this guy has schizophrenia," or anything, like, it was just shown to us that he's actually
Hey,
fucking
hey,
insane.
hey, hey, come on.
What?
I was gonna watch Moon Knight, dickhead.
I've not ruined anything.
Okay. You sure?
Literally, there's no spoiler in what I've just said.
You said he has schizophrenia. That
No,
must be
no, he
something.
doesn't. That's the thing. It shows us that
Oh.
he's insane. It doesn't tell us the stuff. You just imply it through his actions and what happens.
Uh,
One of
okay.
the more recent things that I've seen, again, this doesn't spoil it, and I don't know if it's even true. I just think it's a really cool, like, backstory, possible theory is that he doesn't actually have any superpowers. It's all in his head. But I don't know if that's true or
Oh.
not because obviously it's within the comic book universe and people do have powers and there are like gods like Thor and then like magical abilities when it comes to like Wanda Maximoff or like Scarlet Witch or whatever you want to, whichever way you want to go see it. Is like these things do exist in the world in the universe that they're creating,
Mm.
but it's a like a theory that I've seen. I think I saw it on Twitter originally. Is that he doesn't actually have superpowers as it shows. It's all just in his head. He's just fucking mental. But I don't know if that's actually true or not. It's just something I've seen.
Mm.
But yeah, you
Right.
should watch Moon Knight. It's fucking amazing.
I will. I
Um,
will. One thing I've
uh,
seen, and I
yeah,
believe it's absolutely ridiculous. People are like, "Oh, they should do like a Thor versus Captain America," and I'm like, "No, they shouldn't. They shouldn't do a Thor versus Captain America. That's retarded." Here's why that's retarded. You have Thor, the god of thunder,
yeah.
versus a human with a shield. Who the
Well,
fuck is winning?
there's the thing. He's not just a human. He's a superhuman with the. He's also got the fuck. What's it called? The he's judged worthy enough to be able to hold Mjolnir, so he could also have the power of Thor. Obviously, by this point, for anyone who's seen Endgame, spoilers. Gonna give you a second.
Spoilers,
Okay,
spoilers, spoilers.
um, Steve travels back in time and lives his whole life, and then becomes an old man, and then essentially retires, being Captain
Mm.
America. So you couldn't really do that by this point anyway. Um, but then Love and Thunder, Thor: Love and Thunder. Have you seen it?
That was so shit. I'm sorry.
It
It was
was such a
so
shit film.
shit.
It was
You know
such
why?
a shit
You know,
film.
they were pushing. They were like, "Oh, let's get a woman superhero." No, we don't
No,
need
it
woman
wasn't even
Thor.
that. It was the forced humor to try and make it like memey and funny and like slide in loads of jokes. And I was like, I don't care. Like people want
The
the dark
CGI, right?
grittiness.
The CGI in Thor: Love and Thunder, bro. It was done on a fucking Pentium 4, bro. That
Yeah,
shit was
the
horrible.
CGI was fine for what it was, but like that's the problem. I think is it was just fine. But the story written out the way that it was. I mean, the whole like I can't remember. Is it Core? the enemy in Love and Thunder. Is that his name? Gore, the Gore, that's his name.
Go, yeah, the one with the
There should
sword,
have
innit?
been so much more like emphasis on him being on screen because like Christian Bale as Gore was absolutely that was the best part of the film. He did really, really
Was that
well.
Christian Bale?
It was Christian Bale, yeah.
You're lying.
No, well, Christian Bale. You're gaslighting the fuck out of me now. I'm gonna have to check.
You're
Um,
lying. There's no way that's Christian Bale. Well,
hang
give me
on,
a second. Give me a second.
I'm doing it now. Yeah, uh, yeah, Christian Bale is Gore in Love and Thunder. Yeah, how did you not see that that's Christian Bale? It's very clearly his face.
Ah,
Yeah, he was fucking amazing. But there should have been so much more emphasis on him, but it was unfortunate the way that it worked out. But I think it's because they tried to make it too like comedic at the wrong times, and make it seem kind of like silly. Um, like for whatever reason that Thor just was like almost incapable of having a conversation with Jane, and it made it seem like
yeah.
very school childish. And I was like, I don't. They've interacted enough by this point that like this isn't how they would interact. It just I don't know. It seemed very weird, especially with like if you want to see Thor as slightly traumatized from what happened with Thanos, because obviously that
Mm,
massively affected him, and he then became
yeah.
like
Yeah.
Fat Thor. But I don't know. It was
Uh,
just yeah, it was an unfortunate film. But yeah,
uh,
the mix between Thor and Captain America just wouldn't work. It just
quick insight.
Mhm.
When I went to watch this movie, on the bus there, I was watching the previous Thor.
Well, Ragnarok.
Yeah, I was watching
That was
Ragnarok.
also shit.
Ragnarok was better than Love and Thunder.
Yeah, but the first Thor is also still the best, even though Chris Hemsworth had fucking blonde eyebrows.
Yeah, blonde
This is one
eyebrows.
thing. Yeah, yeah, blonde eyebrows in the first one. Dark World was but Christopher Eccleston as the Dark Elf was kind of okay. And I think it's just slowly dropped off. No, I wouldn't say that actually, because Love and Thunder is probably the worst at people appreciating Dark World a little bit
Yeah,
more. I don't know. I need to go and
the
see
best.
Black Panther anyway.
It's a bunch of bollocks. Not gonna lie to you.
I'm
Don't
not
don't.
expect. I don't have high expectations because like not a lot has like been said about it. I think it's just
Yeah,
going to be a mediocre like 6 out of 10.
yeah.
Like it'll play into it, but it is what it is.
The best scene of Thor: Love and Thunder was when he got stripped in front of his ears. That was the best. Because it
When he
like
got
his
what? Sorry.
when like he got like his clothes blown away by Zeus. I believe that
Oh
was the best.
right.
That was
Yeah,
the
but
best scene.
The interpretation of Zeus in that really fucking pissed me off. That he's some like
Yeah,
I get
yeah,
that he's meant to be arrogant, but it was almost like I don't know, the high school jock asshole. That's all it was. He wasn't like arrogant and like I'm more powerful. It's just like I want to show off that I can do these things. And I'm like, I don't care enough about you. And then he was like blasted away quite easily. And it was like, oh, yeah, whatever. It's just Zeus, just the god of what? I
Spoiler
don't even
alert
know.
for
Yeah.
anyone who hasn't seen Thor. End credit scene was epic, and now I can't wait for the next movie
What was the end credit for Love and Thunder?
where they get fucking Hercules, I think it was
Oh
Hercules
yeah,
or one of
yeah,
them.
Hercules. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's kind of cool that they're incorporating more of that kind of like Norse mythology into it because obviously I'm going to enjoy that anyway. But that like Greek and Norse kind of ancient history mythology kind of aspect to it, I think is going to be quite interesting. At the moment, I'm looking forward to Guardians 3. That's about it.
Was Guardians 3 coming out?
Supposedly soon with I
Is
can never
Groot in it?
remember.
Is Groot in it?
Yeah, of course Groot's going to be in it. It's Guardians of the
Okay,
Galaxy.
because my mother, right, she has a weird obsession with Groot.
Hmm.
She has a small plushie, and then she had like an actual figurine of Groot.
Hmm.
I don't understand her obsession, but she really likes Groot. So
All right. When's it meant to be? Uh, fuck. Hang on. Guardians of the Galaxy release date is meant to be May the 5th. Oh,
May the
Star Wars.
5th.
Star Wars Day. May the
Is
5th is
is
meant to be.
that Star Wars Day?
Yeah, May the 5th be with you.
Oh,
Star Wars Day. The- um,
that
I can
was such a
see.
dad joke.
Yeah, I've heard that for fucking years. I have just noticed as well that Gamora is also supposedly in it. She comes up in the cast. So, oh, Will Poulter, that's it. As playing Adam Warlock. I think that's going to be a really good character. Actually, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be good. He's
You
not
know,
exactly the chiseled chin person that I expect to play Adam Warlock, but I think he's going to be really good in it.
it was only yesterday I realized that the red guy, the like gray red guy, is Batista. Like it took me that long to realize that that guy's Batista. And
Jesus fucking Christ.
no, because oh, have you seen this new movie? Is like Knives Out, Glass Onion,
No,
some
I
shit.
haven't seen it. I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to watch them both at some point, but I don't know when, but
Knives.
I will at some point. I'll watch them both because they're on Netflix. I will get around to doing it though.
It was the movie itself was good, right? It
Hmm.
was a good movie, and the twist was amazing, right?
Right.
But the ending was not necessarily unfulfilling. It was a good ending, but it
Hmm.
wasn't. It didn't hit the spot. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. Well,
And I've
I'll give it a
encountered this.
watch.
I've encountered this with many movies and series I've watched in the past month that I like finished or whatever. Like, I don't know. I haven't seen a movie or a series where the ending just hits the spot. You know
Mm.
what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's fair. The other thing I was going to mention about Dave Bautista, he was in another film. Fuck, it's really going to annoy me what it was. I'm going to have a quick look while I try and find it. But it's another movie on Netflix. Um, that Army of the Dead. That's the one. So the Army of the Dead on Netflix. And then there's a prequel to it as well about cracking safes and whatnot. But both of them, Army of the Dead and the I can't remember what it was. I think is it Army of Thieves? Is that the other one? Hang on, let me just have a quick. Yeah, so the Army of the Dead and Army of Thieves, both on Netflix. Highly recommend both of them. Really, really good films. Not
Okay,
like
good to know.
massive or anything like that, but just really well filmed. Just something to
Mm,
like enjoy that you don't have to like sink too much thought into. Um, anyway, we've massively overrun, but I suppose it's the
of
first one back
course,
for the new
the
year.
first
But
one
fuck
back.
it,
We had a lot
yeah,
talked about. Even
exactly.
though,
We had a
even,
lot of
even
catch
though,
up.
like I think 10 minutes of this was just me and you sitting in quiet talking about movies and shit. But that's fine.
Yeah, we've done it in the past. Although that's one of our highest viewed ones is movies in the past. But anyway, don't know what we're
Anyway,
going to be doing for next week, but we'll keep an eye on some news stories and this and the other. Maybe we'll have something a little bit more coherent that we
yeah, that we
have
can
more
slap
thought on.
together.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you for everyone for last year as well. The channel did reasonably well, and obviously we didn't exactly keep on top of it, maybe as best as we could have. I think at the moment we're sitting at 10 subscribers or something like that. But we appreciate everyone who's like viewed a short or watched the videos for the last year, and hopefully this year we'll be a little bit more on it, a little bit more consistent. We'll be going for the whole year, hopefully. Um,
Hopefully,
and there won't be any like massive changes that will affect you guys, other than maybe some more content for different aspects. Maybe there'll be some more shorts, and maybe every so often there'll be a slightly longer or shorter podcast. And we're hoping to get guests. I'm going to start
yes,
reaching out to some other people and whatnot. I think the way that we're probably going to do guests is probably more often than not is going to be both of us, unless we're just not available and it's like makes more sense to just have a one-on-one conversation with someone. But I think the
yeah,
majority of the time it's going to be both of us. Anyway, thanks for watching. Massively appreciate it,
yeah. Thank you
and we'll
for
be
listening to us once again.
here. Yeah,
Next week. See you
yeah, we'll
guys
be here next
next
week.
week. Goodbye.